can the expectation of FLFE effectiveness explain the experience of FLFE benefits? In other words, if we were going to go from a is something happening to the first question that anyone wants to ask, whether you're a skeptic or not. But if you're a true seeker and you want to know why is this happening, you want to know whether or not is people's expectations what determines the outcome. So we included, because this was a retrospective study, we included an item where people filled out whether the results that they experienced were less than expected, or were the results that the benefits that they experienced as they anticipated, or were they greater than expected? And I, as someone who is, if you would, the person who's supposed to approach all of this with as little pre-bias or pre-experience as possible, so I can look at the data afresh. I, for one, and I think many others were surprised that the people who reported that the effects were greater than they expected when they started the program, that represents 2/3 of the people who reported. Which means what? A, they couldn't have had very high expectations, because if they had very high expectations, it couldn't have been greater than expected. And again, we don't know because we didn't collect those data, but you could be sure we will in the next survey as we progress in the research. You really want to be able to get what the pre-values are starting ahead of time, as opposed to memory, to see how that relates to outcome. But the only way you can get these results is if many people were unsure about whether the results were positive or negative. So there could be some room for surprise. And if you notice here, not only were 2/3 of the sample were the results greater than expected, and a good 17% were as expected, but only about 16% of the people reporting who filled out the questionnaire reported it as being less than the expected. And if you look now at their ratings of perceived benefits, in this case, on each of the subscales, the physical, the mental, emotional, personal, nature, and spiritual, i.e., these are 6 categories as opposed to all 16 items, you can see the results as clear as day. The people who were where the findings were greater than expected, their perceived benefits, they were the people who reported the highest benefits.